Today is the 9th of December at 4:32. Hello, yes, AM here in Austria. And today I am tapping on the fear of using my real name. Tapping on the fear of using my real name. I am really tired. I got 6 hours of sleep. I'm very tired. But we still gonna do this. We still gonna do this work. It's that simple. It's really that simple. You're always gonna do this work. Because this is the work that comes first. And this is the work that I choose to do first. That's it. Oh, I forgot. I gotta set up my vibe. I just created a vibe. Oh, but you can't even see it. You can't even see it. What's the point? Oh, that's why it's gotta go back more. Okay, I gotta take this picture so we can see this now. Really? Yes. Yes. Okay. Come on now. Let's create that vibe here. Yes. Boom. Boom. There we go. Done. Okay. Enough of that. So, as I mentioned before, there's this fear of using my real name on YouTube. There's this fear of using my real name on YouTube. And I think there's paranoia attached to this. There's also fear of, hiding and not hiding. And I'm going to use my EFT GPT that I created, that once again, you can download. It's free. It's linked in the description. I'm going to show you how I use it. And if you're inspired to, you can use it too. Now let's see right here. What do we got here? But this is it, isn't it? Hello. We're not working? Why we're not working? What are you saying? Let's see. Why wouldn't this work? No. No. Yeah. Why wouldn't that work right now? Yes. Oh, there you go. That's weird. Okay. Technical glitch. Okay, so as I was saying, what do we got here? Today, I have this fear of using my real name on YouTube. Okay. So once again, using that EFT GPT, which is free, all you gotta do is just type in what your issue is, and then you start to do an assessment, not a screening, because you're not a doctor. Because what do you know, Gabriel? What do you know? You are not a doctor. So anyway, do this assessment. What is the single issue? You mentioned the fear of using arena. Is that the exact phrasing you want to use, or would you phrase it differently in your own words? Yeah, I just have a real name. I don't know. I have this fear of using my real name on YouTube because what if someone tries to steal my identity or hack me or whatever bullshit. I mean, it's not like not like I'm doing illegal things, but you know, I've seen people, for example, do live streams and they accidentally have their crypto wallets addresses exposed, and you know the viewers hacked their accounts. They were able to access their accounts and take that person's money. I remember that. I watched that. Saw this last, not a live stream. I don't know. Saw this one guy, like this clip on a short where he had his crypto wallet or something, and he was being a little bit arrogant, I think. And the next thing you know, all of his money was gone. And then he started breaking his keyboard. He started breaking his whole computer station. He started freaking out. But I think that's what happens when you are arrogant and you don't humble yourself. I feel something too, that fear of having my real name on YouTube means what people are seeing is what they're getting. Also, perhaps there is a fear that I'm not enough as Gabriel Sarah, and I need a catchy brand name or something. Be, yeah. Oh, also, there might be a paranoid part of me that is afraid the government is watching me. Oh, which reminds me to my biological mother. Yes. So there's a couple of things here that are entangled with that. Using my real name on YouTube. My name is Gabriel Sarah. Before, I had a YouTube channel and it was Gabriel Inspires. First, it was Big Brother Gabe. Then it was Gabriel Inspires. Then it was Gabriel Inspires Me. Then it's Gabriel Inspires. Gabriel is inspired, or Gabriel is inspired. And what this shows me is that there is just this fear of me being honestly myself. There's this fear of me being honestly myself. So we're going to read the response from ChatGPT. Okay, just making sure that my pretty face is still visible on the camera. Okay, enough of that. ChatGPT's response, or the GPT's response. Thank you. This is rich, honest material, and it gives us a clear emotional landscape to work with. We're still in intake, so I'll help you sort and clarify everything you shared step by step as required. Here's what I'm hearing in your words: a fear that using your real name exposes you to identity theft, hacking, or being targeted online. Yeah, maybe even being bullied, right? Because now I'm seeing, now you see my face, right? So now what if I become that guy that people see and they know, and they're like, hey, you're that guy that does the EFT stuff. Yes. And then what if people know my name? You know, what if people now want to take my time? What if people want to like be my friend? And then they want to like talk to me, and then they want to spend time with me, and they get to know, when I get to know me. And what if like I don't have anything interesting to say? All this bullshit, all of this crazy fuckery in the head. And this is why we got to take care of our mental health. This is why I have to unfuck myself every day. I have to get these inner voices out of my head, these perceptions, Eh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, getting back to this. Focus. Focus, Gabriel. Focus. Focus. A fear that using your real name exposes you to identity theft, hacking, or being targeted online. A fear of being fully seen. What people are seeing is what they're getting. A belief or worry. I may not be enough as Gabriel Sarah. I need a brand name to be somebody. A paranoid part that fears surveillance. The government is watching me, which you connected to your biological mother, meaning it may be a learned, inherited, or modeled fear. Yes, this is very likely an imprint. You even notice some frustration with yourself, whatever bullshit, which suggests another part judges or minimizes your fear. This is exactly the kind of, oh, that's interesting. Let's rewind that one. You even notice some frustration with yourself, whatever bullshit I come up with, which suggests another part that judges or minimizes your fear. So maybe there's another part of me. There's another IFS part of me, right? Like, oh, there is this part, like when people say this is this part of me, there's this part of me. There's literally probably a part of you, another persona in you in this one physical body that is counteracting this, right? So there is this part of me that is acknowledging I'm afraid of this, this, and this, and this. And then there is this other part of me that is saying, or whatever bullshit that part comes up with. So maybe they may be in opposition with one another. This is exactly the kind of layered constellation that EFT works beautifully with. Before we continue, I need to ask the required question. What is the earliest memory or strong early memory where you felt something similar? Okay, it was two memories. Two memories come up. One, I remember this one time in particular where my biological mother, this is a true story, she had me, I don't think I even had a choice. She had me look through our apartment for cameras, tiny cameras hidden in the walls or the corners because she thought people were somehow watching or monitoring her. Sweetie, you're not that interesting. You're not that interesting for the government to want to watch you. But then again, I also have heard that yeah, the government tracks your phone calls and all that bullshit. So the question is why? Because they want to control you, probably. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I don't know. And number two is I remember this time where I liked these girls. I liked these girls in elementary school, and to have them like me, I gave them each a box of chocolates. That is really, that's, that is so cringe and lame that I did this, but I did this. I really, really did this. I did that for real, truthfully, honestly. I remember this time where I liked these girls in elementary school, and to have them like me, I each gave them a box of chocolates during lunch. And I remember doing that, and that was very cringe, but I think the overall message, and I didn't even get anything, by the way. I didn't even get anything back. I have to say I'm not enough. Meaning, I have to give. Right, and even then, It's not enough. Oh, yeah, I know that one. There you go. Huh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Okay, let me minimize myself here. Yes. Oh, there you go. Now that's getting good. Hello. What's going on here? Yes. Yeah, yes. Yeah. There you go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Too much. Too much. Ah, there you go. That's it. Perfect. Now you can always see that. Thanks. And it only took you that long to figure that one out. Okay. So thank you. These two memories are highly relevant and they map directly onto the emotional patterns you're dealing with today. We're still in the intake phase and I'll reflect them back. Memory one, surveillance, fear from your biological mother. You describe being asked to search the apartment for hidden cameras because your biological mother believed people were watching her. Emotional message absorbed. We are not safe. People might be watching. If they know too much, something bad could happen. Even if you didn't consciously believe it, a younger part of you was trained to scan for danger. Yeah, to assume exposure equals threat. This absolutely can morph into fear of using your real name publicly. Memory two, giving chocolates to the girls you liked. You gave gifts hoping to be liked and didn't get anything back. You described it as cringe and painful. Emotional message absorbed. I'm not enough as I am. I need to offer something extra to deserve attention. Being myself isn't safe or successful. This often grows into adult fears like if I show up as me, I won't be enough. I need a persona, brand name, or mask to be accepted. Doing beautifully now. The next required intake question right now, when you think about using your real name on YouTube, how intense does the fear feel? All right, so we're going to muscle test this now. I'm going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. There's so many different ways to do muscle tests. Keep it really simple and just do the basic one that I was doing in the beginning. Oh, to show the dramaticism of it. So if it's true or yes, my finger is not going to go through. If it's false, my finger is going to, right? So show me true, show me false, show me yes, show me no. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Soraya. My name is Mama. My name is Gabriel. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being on the scale, sorry, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the fear of using my real name on YouTube and just only my real name on YouTube has an emotional charge of 5 or higher. It has an emotional charge of 5. It has an emotional charge of 6. It has an emotional charge of 7. Okay, great, perfect. That's a pretty high one. That's a pretty high one. To use my real name. Just to use my real name on YouTube. That is pretty weird. Thank you. That gives us a clear SUDS 7. SUDS is basically just a rating for how intense something would feel. It's just like saying how intense does it feel for you right now on a scale of 0 to 10. Done. We now continue to the final intake questions required before generating the script. Okay, and that's what I like about this is that hey, look, I don't have to think about this at 4:32 in the freaking morning. All I have to do is just tell the thing what's up, and because of the way that I designed the GPT, it just gives me everything like a working procedure, which I like. It just keeps me on track, and it's okay. Next question, next question, next question. Here's the tapping points. Do it, and then that's it. I'm done. And then I've been noticing good results with this, and it works just fine. Of course, I incorporate my own freestyle moments, but yeah, otherwise, good to go. When you think about this fear right now, what emotions are present? Scared, shame, paranoid, da 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 da. Use your exact words. What emotions are actually happening in your body? Okay, let's see. I think scared, paranoid, hyper, vigilant, um, alert, uh, cautious, worried, overthinking, um, insecure, yes, doubtful, inadequate. Let's go. What else is there? Not enough. Vulnerable, yes. Naked, that's right. Exposed, etc. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? I think in my head. I think a lot of what I feel is in my head. Mostly in my head and heart. Yeah. One thing that I've noticed about this is that there's a lot of emotions that are layered with one experience. And to ignore it is to run away from it. To ignore the problem and not confront it is to run away from it. And what I found is that these things are just asking for you to confront it and to acknowledge it. And when you pay attention to it and you just spend time with it, it's going to go away. That's it. But we've been trained collectively as humans to, number one, ignore the fight or flight response, right? So you either fight to discharge that stress response loop triggered by your amygdala, or you run away to once again stop that flow of cortisol through that stress response loop. And we've been trained to basically ignore the two. So what's the next option? You freeze. But if you freeze, that energy gets stored in your body. That's what I have found. That's what I have observed. That's what I've read from the books and all the stuff that I've done. So don't take my word for it, though. What are you? Wait. Okay, thank you. This gives us a complete emotional somatic profile so we can finalize the intake summary and move into the parts echo identification exactly as required. Before we begin tapping, here's a structured reflection. Intake summary, required step. And I like how this thing just gives me everything back to me and I don't have to think about it too much. It's just, okay, do. Here we go. Fear of using your real name on YouTube, fear of exposure, identity theft, being seen as you are, and not being enough as Gabriel Sarah. Keep memories connected, searching for hidden cameras with your biological mother, thought your younger self people might be watching. Exposure is dangerous. We need to stay vigilant. Giving chocolates to girls in school and feeling rejected reinforce I'm not enough as myself. I need to offer something extra to be liked, right? And we even when I offered things like through business, like had business offerings like products to sell or services to sell or whatever, it would be like I'm going out of my way. I'm trying to lowball myself as much as possible. And even I didn't get the success I want. You know why? Because it's just reinforcing a fucking needy energy. It's reinforcing a very desperate, needy energy. It's not gonna work. Giving chocolates to girls in school and feeling rejected reinforced not enough as myself. I need to offer something extra to be liked. Being myself is risky or disappointing. Main emotions now. Your words. Scared, paranoid, hypervigilant, etc. Body sensations mostly in the head, thought loops, scanning, vigilance, and the heart, emotional vulnerability, fear of exposure. SUDS, 7 out of 10. So how intense it feels, perfect. Now we move to the next required phase, parts echo identification. An IFS part, in case you don't know, is simply a younger or protective aspect of you that learned a specific strategy to keep you safe. Nothing is broken, nothing is wrong. These parts are adaptive, not defective. Based on everything you shared, here are three possible parts that may be active: the hypervigilant protector, which was inherited from my biological mother's fear; the not enough younger part, which was at elementary school age; the if they know my name, they can hurt me part. Which of these resonates with you most? You can pick, or you can rename it in your own words. So once you choose, I'll label and I don't know. I think that's the thing. What do I think or whatever, you know? But I would say, because I can't really feel that so much. It's more like just these thoughts, like what if this, what if this, what if this? And I want to be myself at this stage. Like I want to be myself. Fuck trying to be someone else. Fuck trying to create a brand and trying to put on this persona or be something I'm not. I just want to be me. That's it. What you see is what you get. That's it. There's nothing else. I can't fucking pretend. And this is who I am. This is legitimately who I am. That's it. Either love me or leave me alone. Hey. I'm gonna say mm, mm, maybe it's two, maybe it's number two. There's always that feeling of not enough because it has to do with scarcity. It has to do with being poor. I grew up poor, maybe not by other people's standards, but in terms of New York City standards, raised by a single mother, poor, right? Like couldn't afford food, was starving, starving. We're gonna starve. Those were her words. Yolanda Sarah's words, not mine. But going 3 days without eating. Okay, beautiful. Choosing part number two, the not enough younger part, gives us a very clear center of gravity for the work. We now move to the next required stage, EFT setup statements. And after that, your full 4-round tapping script. The part we're working with, this is the younger you, the one who gave chocolates hoping to be liked and walked away with the painful message: I'm not enough as I am. I have to do something extra to be accepted. If I show up as myself, people won't want me. Being seen is risky. This younger part is the one reacting when you imagine using your real name on YouTube. It's not about YouTube, it's about visibility, worthiness, and exposure. Right. Okay. So now that we know that, let's get to work. Let's get to tapping. Let's get to tapping now. All right. So once again, you can tap with me on your own things, or you can download this yourself, right? Download the EFT GPT, it's free, and you can do your own thing. But either which way, we're gonna get to work right now. I'm gonna take off this hat. I'm gonna put on my headphones. I'm not here to look pretty. I'm here to do the work. I'm here to do my inner work. All right. I've got this app that I use. It's called BrainFM. Okay, and it's got this meditation thing on it. It's got these different settings. You see here. Here we go. Boom. And I use meditate. And we're gonna go 40 minutes. All right. So we're just gonna work on clearing this out for the next 40 minutes and getting this fear of being seen on YouTube and using my real name down from a 7 to a 0. All right. So let us get to work. All right. All the EFT tapping points are in the description box as well. Or you could just click on the link, download the GPT, and it'll tell you the points as well. Okay. Even though, hold on a second. I gotta change this thing because it should have already started printing out everything. Okay. Here we go. Let's do the clearing round. First round, here we go. Even though I'm scared that being myself is not enough, I deeply and completely love, accept, and honor myself and this younger part of me. I hear this inner voice saying, no, you don't. So that part is asking for attention. We'll get to that another time. Even though using my real name feels exposing and vulnerable, I honor how hard this has been, and I'm open to feeling a little safer. Even though a younger part learned I'm not enough as I am, I choose to be kind to myself as I heal this. This fear in my head and heart. This younger part who learned I was not enough. This scared, paranoid, hypervigilant feeling. This fear of being seen as myself. This belief that I have to be someone else to be accepted. This old message that being myself isn't safe. This overthinking part trying to protect me. This not enough feeling from childhood. This tension in my chest and heart. This urge to hide my real identity. This doubt that Gabriel, Sarah, is enough. This frustration that I even feel this way. This sadness from that rejection as a kid. This overwhelm about visibility. This fear of being exposed. This fear of being exposed. This fear. Up, up, up. Yep. Okay. Like that. Come on. Oh, boy. Okay, good enough. All right. This fear of being exposed. I remember many times in my life, I felt like I was not enough. I felt and I believed that I was not enough. And that created a lot of inner tension. And I remember those times when I was homeless, and even before I was homeless, I always used to hear we could not afford something. Can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Hearing that from Yolanda Sarah was like hearing a fucking parrot say this over and over and over again. And this is all I heard all the time. We can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. And this is all I heard every single day. Every single day. Well, not every day. I'm lying. I'm lying. Oh, forgive me. I'm a liar. But I heard this often. I heard this very often. At least I'm spotting the liar. At least I'm spotting the liar. But every day, you fucking liar. Stop lying. I'm spotting this liar. I'm spotting this liar. And I know that all of these are lies. And that's the irony of it. I have this huge fucking liar part. And that's what I'm going to work on. Create a reminder.
What do you want to be reminded about?
EFT tapping topic : clear the liar part in me.
Okay, I added it.
I hear Jim Carrey, Liar Liar, that movie. Like probably that created a liar in me and also being afraid. But either which way, let's get back to it. Let's focus. This lying part. The fear of using my real name. So what do? I lie. Create my own story. Try to be something I'm not. Pretending. Lying to myself. Lying to myself. And I'm just being honest about this. I'm just being really, really honest about this now. Lying to myself. Not being truthful. Being a liar. That's who I'm being. This fear of using my real name. This fear of using my real name. I have this fear of using my real name on YouTube. And I remember when I was younger, I often, not every day, because that would be a lie. However, I often heard from Yolanda Sarah, we can't afford it. And because I heard that often, we cannot afford this thing, that made me believe it's not enough. It's an illusion. It's an imprint. It's an idea. It comes from scarcity. I am aware of that at this stage of my life. I am aware that it is a scarcity idea. It's all just scarcity. Oh, that's good. That's good. The yawning, the barping, the farting, the crying, the peeing, the pooping, whatever, it's all a release. Shaking, cringing, whatever, all a good release. Let it just release. That scarcity, that time in my life, I felt very inadequate. I felt so inadequate. I felt embarrassed to like girls. Felt very embarrassed to like girls. And I remember Yolanda Sarah making me feel very awkward about liking girls. Like, you don't want me to. I asked you, Yolanda Sarah, I asked you for the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys album because I like their songs. And yet you think I'm going to be gay or something like this. And so you say no to me getting the fucking albums. But yet, you get me the Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem, who talks about fucking killing his wife. And you get me that. This guy that's fucking angry. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked his music at that time. But when I think about it now, there's a lot of anger. And you have me listen to this. You think it's okay. You say, yes, I want you to listen to this guy instead. And not, baby, if you want me, you're all I ever needed. No. So here I am. That's fine. Okay. Fine. Fine. So now I'm afraid to use my real name on YouTube. I am afraid to be Gabriel Serra. Let me just be myself. Can I just fucking be myself? Can I just be that guy that is just himself? I don't think so. I don't think so. I do not think so. Because this Gabriel Serra grew up poor. This Gabriel Serra grew up without food at times. This Gabriel Serra grew up wearing holes in his clothes. This Gabriel Serra currently buys secondhand clothes. Why? Number one, I get clothes for like $3 and they look just fine to me. And on top of which, I don't have time like that to be fucking spending money. And I don't have the cash either. I don't have the cash either to be spending money on this bullshit because clothes depreciate in value. They're not going to make me more money. They're not assets, they're liabilities. So why am I going to waste money on fucking clothes? Why would I pay retail for something knowing that it depreciates in value, knowing that it doesn't generate me positive cash flow, positive net cash flow? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? At least for me, at least from what I understand. Am I going to get passive income out of clothes? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe that's a business idea. Or maybe I'm just not smart enough to figure that out yet. I don't know. Either which way, yes, maybe I am afraid of being Gabriel Serra because that Gabriel Serra is not enough because that Gabriel Serra wears secondhand clothes, primarily because of the financial reasons. I have kids to provide a house for now. I have a family to financially take care of. And I'm not going to be fucking trying to dress down in Gucci and I can't even pay the fucking mortgage. Or I'm not even going to fucking pay a mortgage. Fuck that. I'm not going to get a mortgage. Fuck you. Child, please. Child, please. I'm not going to do that to myself. Not going to do that to myself. I'm going to pay all cash. All cash. I'm going to make sure I have positive cash flow. But is that Gabriel Serra enough to do that? I don't know. And there's that fear. What if I'm boring? What if people are like, oh my God, this guy is so boring? Or what if people are like, oh my God, that guy is so intense? What if that guy is so intense? And then that makes me think, oh, I gotta be something I'm not. I have to pretend. I have to not curse anymore. I have to watch what I say. I have to censor myself. And that feels very stifling. That feels very restrictive. And I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I choose for that to not be my life. I choose for that to not be my reality. Mother Mary, you look so pretty in the background. God bless you, Mother Mary. Yeah, I don't want that for myself. I'm afraid to use my real name on YouTube. Afraid to use my real name on YouTube. Afraid to use my real name on YouTube. Even though I'm afraid to use my real name on YouTube, I choose to embrace myself. Even though I'm afraid to use my real name on YouTube, I choose to embrace myself. Even though I've been afraid to use my real name on YouTube. I choose to embrace myself and just be myself now. I don't see the point in being something I'm not. Because clearly I wasn't even happy with those names that I created anyway, right? Before I was Gabriel Inspires, Big Brother Gabe. Gabriel inspires me. So what is it about the Sarah name? What is it about using that last name? Oh, shame. Embarrassment. I'm embarrassed. There we go. Yes. I have seen growing up my relatives, and when I look at them, I judge them. And I'm just being really honest about this. I judge them. They were on public assistance, disability, and they had their hands, they had their feet. They seemed to be just fine. But what was the problem? What was the problem? Here. It was what was between their ears. That was the problem. Maybe they had their own traumas. Maybe they lived a very traumatic life, and maybe they just didn't know how to be themselves. And I get that. I really get that. And I have compassion for that. I understand how destructive that is. When you feel like you can't do something and you're telling yourself all these reasons, and it creates this mental prison. When you hear these voices in your head, it creates this mental prison. And I saw these relatives growing up, and I was thinking to myself, like, why don't you work? Like, why are you on public assistance? You know? But I don't know their story because they don't open up. They keep it all in. They suppress and they bottle it up. And even as I say that, I think about a previous girlfriend that I had, and she had hypothyroidism. Now, the doctors are going to tell you it's this. It is this. Okay, fine. Fine. You're the expert. You know better. Okay, fine. However, there is an alternative school of thought from the German New Medicine. Oh my God, he's using the German New Medicine term. He's in a cult. Oh. Motherfucker. It's not that I believe in that thing. It's just, hey, it brings up an interesting point, and it probably is closer to true that whatever surfaces on the top is really just a symptom of what's underneath, which means that this ex-girlfriend's hypothyroidism could have been related to her suppressing herself and her bottling things in. And how do I know this? Because that's what she would say. I'm just going to stay shut so I can keep the peace. I'm just going to stay shut. And she would say that over and over and over and over and over and over again. And as a result, I believe that she developed that hypothyroidism. Possibility. Very strong possibility. And I'm bringing that up because with these relatives, they don't talk about anything. They argue constantly. So they're in a very defensive state from what I observe, from what I understand about arguing and being angry, myself having anger issues, because I grew up with a single mother who was constantly angry, screaming at the top of her lungs until her face turned red, breaking shit in the house. Fucking angry. So angry and defensive, very defensive and hyper vigilant. And every time that she heard the word, someone saying like, I'm sorry, she would get triggered by it. And she'd be like, sorry, oh, so sorry, so sorry. And then she'd have like this Asian accent or some shit like this when she would say this. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? But the truth is that it's sickness. It's mental health. It's them not taking care of their mental health. Maybe they don't know how to take care of their mental health. There's like over 40 different techniques to take care of your mental health. Pick one and just stick with the fucking thing. Very simple. I just happen to do this because it's the simplest thing that I can do. And it's on camera, you know? Otherwise, I would go for iboga or psychedelics or Cambo because those are really effective. Life-changing for me. For me, I can't say for anyone else. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. Don't label me any of that shit. I'm just a guy. Just a guy. I'm a jag. And there's this fear of using my name because maybe I am embarrassed to be a Sarah, Serra. Maybe I am still embarrassed that that's who I am, that I was born from these relatives. Maybe that's true. Maybe I was embarrassed. Maybe I felt like, oh, is this who I really am? Is this where I came from? I'm going to definitely move that. That's not the vibe for this room. That is not the vibe. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Ah, now it's getting interesting. Now it is getting. Hmm. Yeah, I judged them. I did judge them a lot, very heavily. And maybe there was that shame. Maybe I was ashamed too. Maybe I was ashamed that these were my relatives. And maybe I was ashamed that like, oh, this is where I came from. This is who I am. Maybe I am ashamed of who I am. Oh, yes. Right, because in this physical body, I was told I am Puerto Rican by my biological mother, by my relatives. Even though I took a DNA test and the majority of my DNA is from Spain and Portugal, I've got some Africa, I've got some Puerto Rico. Yes, that's true. So maybe I have Taino blood in me. Yeah, that's true for sure. And maybe I'm just ashamed of that. Maybe I'm just ashamed of being this person. At that period of time, when I was younger, maybe there is that part of me that is still ashamed. Maybe there is an echo that is still ashamed and it's stuck and it needs to be freed. Because now when I think about, oh my God, Christopher Columbus came to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, murdered and tortured a whole bunch of people, took their fucking gold, took their shit, took all their assets, and then had the audacity to claim it as, whatever he wanted to claim it as, went to fucking America, slaughtered a whole bunch of Native Americans, the Trail of Tears, and then fucking now forced Native Americans to live on reservations. And now America is what it is. The white man with his white privilege using his guns to flex his authority because he believes he is superior and he does not respect others. So what does he do? He takes, he rapes, he kills. And maybe there is a part of me that's ashamed about that. Maybe there's a part of me that is ashamed of myself because I'm a majority Spanish and Portuguese and Puerto Rican. But maybe I'm ashamed of that. But at that time, when I was younger, I felt ashamed of seeing my relatives. I felt ashamed of, oh my God, is this really them? Is this really them? Is this really my quote family? And it's like we never, like, for example, it was so distant. I remember times where I'd be walking down the street and uncle would be walking down the street, and it's like he would look at me, but then ignore me, not say anything. There's nothing like why? Why are you ignoring me? Why? Why am I being ignored? And then that fear of using my real name. It's not that I have a problem using Gabriel. I think it's that I had a problem using the name Sarah, specifically the name Sarah, because maybe I did feel that shame. Maybe I did feel, oh, now memories are actually starting to come back to me now. There we go. The memories are indeed starting to come back to me now. So I remember I was younger, having this strong disdain or disgust for my biological father. When I discovered that he was absent, how do I put that into words? Oh, that's good. So when I found out that my biological father had abandoned us, as my biological mother would say, I think I started to grow like a resentment towards him. And I even remember times when I was in school, like wanting to, when you'd write your name on the piece of paper and all that stuff that they make you do at school and that educational system. I remember there were times where I transitioned from using Sarah to Santiago, which was my biological father's last name. And I think I wanted to be that. I wanted to be acknowledged as David Santiago's son. But then when I found out that he abandoned us and I started to grow this resentment, I was obviously using the name Sarah. But then when I saw the name, I saw how these Sarahs were, the Sarahs that I was around, my relatives, I was embarrassed. I was disgusted. I felt like, oh my God, is this where I come from? Is this who I am? And that probably made me feel some disgust. Maybe that made me feel a little bit like disgusted with myself. What is this doing? Come on. Yes. AI tracker. Maybe I did feel that disgust. Maybe I did feel like, oh, it's not good. This is who I am. And there's that shame. It's more shameful, I think, than anything. But then now, in this present moment, the fear is tied to the other one, to the other memory, which is related to being hypervigilant and paranoid. Putting myself out there. Putting myself out there. What if I'm not enough? What if I'm not engaging enough? What if people don't like me? What if I do grow to the point where I do have a lot of attention on me, and I'm not able to handle that, and I'm not comfortable with that attention. What happens then? What exactly happens then? And that's scary. And when I think about that, like Mr. Beast on the Diary of a CEO, I didn't watch that interview. I just watched the first 30 seconds or the short of it. And Mr. Beast said, I think his real name is Jimmy Donald or something. Mr. Beast said that he would receive death threats, people telling him to go kill himself. And I thought to myself, man, that is really extreme. That is really extreme. There are a lot of people that have a lot of hate in their heart. They have a lot of anger and they have a lot of violence. People have a lot of violent thoughts. And this is what I've seen. This is what I've observed. And that would make me feel very scared. But I can't be scared for the rest of my life. What am I going to teach my kids? Am I going to really teach my current daughter to be fucking afraid to wash her bag constantly? Or am I going to tell her to fulfill her dharma, to live her purpose? What am I going to do? Can't be afraid my whole life. I can't hide behind a camera my whole life. I can't hide in a room my whole life. I spent my whole life in a room. I've spent my whole entire life in a room constantly. Oh, see, that's another lie. I can't say I've spent my whole life in a room, but a majority of my life has been spent indoors. A majority of my life has been spent being quiet. A majority of my life has been spent feeling stress and anxiety and uncertainty. Where am I going to sleep tonight? What am I going to eat? What's going to happen now? What's going to happen to me? Oh, I hear Yolanda Sarah. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to us? All of these fears. And I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. I choose to embrace just, hey, this is me. This is me. This is where I came from. This is me. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I don't claim to be a guru. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not a fucking guru. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I can be at peace with that. Can you be at peace with yourself? If it's just between me and you, God, and it's between God and me, then there is nothing outside of me. There's nothing outside of me. It's all fairy dust. It's all fairy dust anyway. It cannot hurt me. It doesn't exist. It's just in my imagination. I am just the attractor and the creator of these things because this is my vibrational frequency. And I know that at this stage. And because I know all of that at this stage, I can do something about this. I can. I can very much do something about this. And I choose to do something about this. I don't want to hide anymore. I just have to really accept being Gabriel Sarah. So to that part of me that was ashamed and afraid of using my real name on YouTube, Gabriel Sarah, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though there was a part of me that was ashamed and afraid to use my real name and be myself. I choose to accept myself and make it okay to just be Gabriel Ernesto Serra. That's it. Rolling my R's. Rolling my R's. My R. That's it. I don't speak Spanish. I don't claim, yes, if you want to call me a New Yorican, if you want to call me a fake Puerto Rican, okay, fine. I don't give a shit anymore. I used to get angry about that. It used to get under my skin. It used to trigger me because you're calling me basically a fake. Okay, fine, whatever. Fuck off. Done. Inner voices. I'm done with you. And I'm done with you from a place of love. I'm done trying to be something I'm not. I'm done pretending. I'm done hiding. I'm done living my life this way. And that's it. I'm just going to open my heart. I'm just going to open my arms and I'm just going to be myself. That's it. And if people don't like it, okay, fine. Okay, fine. My life continues. The show goes on. I'm here to render my service. I'm here to do my part. I'm here to serve God. And that's ultimately what matters at the end of the day is I'm here to serve God. This is my job. Serve God. Fulfill my dharma, do my best, and just be ready for the next life. Be ready for the next phase of life, which is my death. I'm going to die at some point in my life. At some point, this life is going to end, and I don't have forever, and neither do you. So we got to get it together and unfuck ourselves. And it's that simple. It's really that simple. Don't have all day. Got to move. Got to do something. Do it. Do it. Now let's transition now. This old pattern that once tried to protect me, maybe I don't need this pattern as much right now or ever. Maybe being seen could be safer than it used to be. This old belief that I wasn't enough, maybe that belief belonged to a younger version of me. Maybe I can let this soften. Maybe I don't need to hide so much anymore. Maybe I can show up as myself, slowly, gently. I'm open to feeling a little more grounded. I'm open to seeing myself differently. I'm open to releasing some of this fear. I'm open to trusting myself a bit more. I'm open to letting this old pain ease. I'm open to compassion for that younger me. I'm open to a new experience of visibility. Maybe I am safer than my younger part thinks. All right, let's go to round 3 now. Let's get a positive reframe here. I am choosing to see this younger part with compassion. I am willing to be more than the old story. I am safe in this moment. I'm growing into someone who trusts his own identity. I am starting to feel enough as myself. I am reclaiming my visibility on my terms. I am releasing old shame and fear. I am allowed to be seen. I am allowed to be heard. I am becoming the version of me who stands confidently as Gabriel Serra, as Gabriel Ernesto Serra. I am worthy of being known. I am allowed to exist without hiding. I am enough. I claim my right to show up as myself. I decree that I am lovable and whole. And now let's go to round 4. Let's anchor this in. Now that I have met this younger part with compassion, I can move forward with more calm. Now that I know I am enough, I can breathe easier. Now that I understand where this fear came from, I don't have to carry it the same way. From this moment forward, I choose to show up as Gabriel Sarah. From this moment forward, I choose to show up as Gabriel Sarah. Now that I feel more grounded, to take small steps toward visibility. From this moment forward, I allow myself to feel worthy. Now that I'm reclaiming my identity, I feel stronger. From this moment forward, I choose truth over fear. Now that I honor my younger self, I can step into my adult power. From this moment forward, I remember that being myself is enough. Now that I feel safer, I release old vigilance. From this moment forward, I trust myself a little more. Now that I'm aligned with who I truly am, I expand. From this moment forward, I choose authenticity. To that echo, to that part of me, I love you and I apologize for keeping you alive. Please forgive me. God, forgive me. I forgive you. I forgive myself. I forgive the world. And I thank you for your existence. With unconditional love and acceptance, I now send you back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. And so it is, and so it was. Thank you. And I choose to make it okay to be Gabriel Ernesto Sarah. Even though I felt uncomfortable being myself, I choose to embrace being Gabriel Ernesto Sarah now. Even though I felt uncomfortable being myself, I choose to embrace being Gabriel Ernesto Sarah now. Even though I felt uncomfortable being my honest, authentic, true self, I choose to embrace being Gabriel Ernesto Sarah now. Even though I felt uncomfortable being my true self, I choose to embrace being Gabriel Ernesto Sarah now. I don't have to hide anything. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to be something I'm not. I can honestly be myself now. I can be myself. And it's enough. Myself is enough. I am enough. I choose for myself to be enough. I choose for myself to be more than enough. I choose for myself to accept myself. I can accept myself. And I choose to just remember that, hey, look, God, you created me. God, I choose to believe and I choose to acknowledge that, God, you created me. You created the heaven and the sky and all that I see with my physical eyes. Everything it was created. Every single face that I've ever seen is different from the other. Yes, we all have hands and feet. Yes, we all have physical bodies, but every face, every face, the hands, the feet, it all looks slightly different. We all have our own unique thumbprints. We all have our own unique dharma. We all have our own unique purpose. We all have our own unique blueprint. And I choose to be in full alignment and integrity with that. I choose to make it okay to be myself. Yes, I had this fear of using my real name on YouTube. Maybe I judged myself too much. Maybe I stuttered too much. Maybe I didn't look a certain way. Maybe I felt I wasn't enough. Maybe I judged my relatives too much. And I apologize for that, God. You brought these people into my life. They're a part of me. All is one. I choose to believe all is one. I choose to believe that. I choose to believe that. I choose to believe that I am a soul just like everyone else is a soul, and we're on our own journey, and I have no right to judge anyone. And I also have no right to judge myself, too. I have no right to judge myself for my experiences. I have no right to judge who I've been because ultimately, these are probably the experiences that you designed for me, God. I choose to really surrender to that, make that a possibility to believe in. I choose to believe that, hey, maybe I am here to fulfill my purpose, my own unique purpose, my own blueprint. Fulfill that with great love in my heart. Maybe that's what I'm here for. And I choose to make that okay now. I choose to make that really okay now. And I'm sorry that I was afraid of using my real name. I apologize that I took on these imprints. I apologize that I made in my head such a big deal that these girls weren't interested in me because I gave them chocolate. What sense does that make? And even though, as I say this, I could hear a Gen Zer saying, oh, that's so cringe, or whatever the fuck they say, I don't know. Not my business. I'm a millennial. I say my own shit. I don't know. But it does make me think, hey, I have to have more compassion for myself. And I choose to have more compassion for myself. I choose to have much more compassion for myself. I choose to be okay with being myself. I choose to love myself more. I choose to be kinder to myself. I choose to love myself because loving myself means loving everyone else. And I now vibrate that energy out into the world. And I think the world now is hurting. A lot of humans are hurting. A lot of humanity is hurting. I see it. I see a lot of humans hurting. And I think a lot of people need love, God. And I open my heart to those people that need love. And I do my part to put that love out there. And whether or not people are ready to receive it, it's It's not up to me. And I choose to be free of that outcome. I choose to surrender and accept. This is who I am. Love me or leave me alone. But I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be Gabriel Sarah. That's it. I'm going to be that guy that wakes up every day at 4 and does this live stream every single day at 4:32 a.m. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. I choose to be that guy. I choose to be that guy. If there's nothing else that I do, there's nothing significant that I do with my life, then hey, you know what? Let me at least do this with great love. Let me at least pour forth great love into the world. Let me do that. I can do that. I think I can do that. I think I'm capable of loving people. I think I'm capable of loving people even when they're shits. I think I'm capable of loving people even when they're trolls. I think I'm capable of loving people even if they threaten to kill me. I think I can love people still. I think. I don't necessarily need to have an experience to figure that out and to find out. I'm just saying that I think I can be a source of love and a source of light in this world. And I don't have to say love and light, and all that bullshit. Nope. I think I can just say, hey, that was a dick thing that you did. But I think I can understand where you're coming from. And I choose to have love in my heart for you. And I choose to let it go. And I choose to not hold this into my nervous system. So I have to release that fear of being Gabriel Sarah. I have to release that fear of being vulnerable, right? And I think about if I was Gabriel Inspires, oh, I can hide behind something. Now I don't have to show my last name. Now I don't have to feel shame for my last name. But now as Gabriel Sarah, it's like, hey, I have to really be me. I have to be vulnerable. I have to say, hey, this is who I am. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We're not perfect. And I think I'm okay with that. I think I can be really, truly okay with that. And I choose to be okay with that. I choose to make it really okay. I choose to be really, really okay. I choose to be really okay with that. I choose to be really at peace with all that. Trying to create a vibe here with Mother Mary in the background. Trying to create a vibe here. Mother Mary blesses you. Well, I bless you. We all bless you. We all wish you a good day. And if it's just between me and you, God, then I say thank you. Thank you for showing me who I have been. Thank you for reflecting back to me the shame and the embarrassment and the judgment that I have had and I've held within. I've kept this inside of me for too long, and I let that go from my nervous system now. That's it. I give myself the opportunity to show up every day for myself, to take care of myself, take care of my mental health as I'm doing right now, and to document that process and to help others do the same for themselves too. Because I know a lot of people carry a lot of shit inside of them. There's a lot of hurt in a lot of people. And what good does it do to live your life with hate in your heart? What good is it going to do to die from this world with a heavy heart? And I don't choose that for myself, and I don't choose that for anyone else. I choose to die with a very light heart. I choose to die with peace in my heart. I choose to be at peace with everything. I choose to be at peace with all that is and make that okay. I choose to make that okay. I'm going to get the vibe right. I'm going to get the vibe. Right? I'm going to maybe get the candle, and now we're going to have the vibe up in here. We're going to set the vibe. We're going to set the tone in here. At 4 o'clock in the morning, we're going to set the tone. We're going to create the vibe. But I let this go now. Can I release this fear? I release this part of me, and I let it go with great love now. Right. There is that part of me. And to that hypervigilant part, maybe this part wants to speak, but to that hypervigilant part, I acknowledge you. I acknowledge how you feel. I acknowledge that you were told by your mother, your biological mother, hey, look at these, look through the house for all these cameras, look through the house for all this shit. I understand that. And that doesn't have to be your life. You don't have to go around through life looking to see if the boogeyman is out there to get you. There's only a boogeyman if you believe there's a boogeyman. Let it go. And I choose to let that go. I hear the word wait. I hear an inner part or echo or whatever saying wait. And I'm going to give that part the space to speak now. So imagine there's that part right there. Boom. Okay. And it's trying to speak. Okay. Let's hear what you have to say. It was embarrassing. It was very embarrassing. It was really, really embarrassing to deal with these people. I was so embarrassed. How could this be my family? How is this possible? How? Let me screenshot this from the side here while I'm here. Ready? How is that possible? Why me? And that's how I felt. I was embarrassed. I was really embarrassed. I was really embarrassed that my name was Gabriel Sarah. I was really embarrassed that these relatives, their name was Sarah. And I was embarrassed that this is where I came from. It was very embarrassing. Living in that apartment, always heard, can't afford it, can't afford it, can't afford it. Constantly, never ending. You know how embarrassing that is? It's so embarrassing. And I didn't want that anymore. But at this stage now, hey, look, you know what's going to be even more embarrassing? It's going to be even more embarrassing if you are not able to feed your kids. It's going to be even more embarrassing if you're going to be reliant on the outer world forever. It's going to be even more embarrassing if you're going to keep asking for help. It's going to be even more embarrassing if you can't financially take care of your family. It's going to be even more embarrassing if you fucking cannot figure this thing out and figure yourself out and unfuck yourself. That's going to be more embarrassing than fucking your last name being Sarah, isn't it? So I understand that. And yeah, it was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. But now it's time to let that go. I can't be embarrassed of being Sarah anymore. I cannot be embarrassed of being Gabriel Ernesto Sarah anymore. I have to take pride in that somehow. not even take pride in that. I just have to really accept it and be at peace with that. And I choose to make it being okay. Is it ideal? No. But hey, maybe I can make a name for myself. Maybe you can make a name for yourself. And I get it. Like, you can't do that with me. You can't do that with me still inside of you. So I get it. You have to let me go. And I think it's probably better that you do let me go, because how am I going to help you? It's going to be this cycle over and over and over again, where you're constantly trying to hide, you're constantly trying to invent new brand names and all this stuff. Just be yourself. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I could not let you be yourself. Please forgive me. I love you and I never wanted that for you. And it's time for you to let me go. Okay? So that was the part. That was the part speaking. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that part. Thank you very much for speaking and for saying that was your truth. I'm very grateful that you said that. And it is time. It's time to let you go. And then in the name of God and my mighty omnipresence that I am, my great divine spirit team, my subconscious mind, and the great light brotherhood of the highest vibrational frequency and consciousness, your unconditional love and support in your names, I command, declare, and decree that I am proud of who I am. And I accept myself as I am. And I'm at peace with who I am. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, and obliterate all past memories, judgments, meaning, and perception around the last name Sarah. Purify the last name Sarah so that I can don it from a very neutral state and I can accept who I am. I choose to accept who I am. I choose to accept who I am. I choose to make it okay to be myself. I choose to be at peace with myself. And I let this go now forever. And so it is, and so it was. Thank you. 3 deep breaths in. Exhale when I say inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. So I've got these magnets. You can see that it's probably too dark in here. But I've got these magnets. And these magnets, you ever heard of Bradley Nelson, the emotion code? He does magnetic therapy. And it's a different thing, it's a different tool, it's a different technique, but it's still the same. When you break it down, it's still the same thing. Maybe different speeds, I don't know, but it's still taking this thing. It's still a tool, a technique to release and demagnetize whatever the emotional charge is. So if you think about like a credit card and you think about this magnet swiping a credit card, the idea is that it's supposed to help you discharge whatever the trapped emotion is, right? And that's the concept of the emotion code. So we got this. I finally found it. I was wondering where it was at this whole time, and I finally found it. So you're going to see me use this a lot. And after every session, we're going to wipe ourselves clean here. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, my great divine spirit team, subconscious mind, and the great white brotherhood of the highest vibrational frequency and consciousness, the unconditional love and support in your names, I command, declare, and decree that the fear of using my real name on YouTube be forever released from my nervous system, from my physical body, from my mental body, from my spiritual body, from my emotional body, from my heart, from my subconscious mind, from my feeling world, from my spirit, and from every heart and mind across the universe, from the morphogenetic field. And so it is, and so it was. And I now release this fear of using my real name on YouTube. I now release this fear of using my real name on YouTube, and now release this fear of using my real name on YouTube. I release all shame around using my real name. I release this shame of being Gabriel Ernesto Serra now. I release the shame of being Gabriel Ernesto Serra now. I release the shame of being Gabriel Ernesto Serra now. I release the shame of being Gabriel Ernesto Serra now. I release the shame of being Gabriel Ernesto Serra now. I release the shame of being Gabriel Ernesto Serra now. Okay, now let's muscle test. Show me yes. Show me no. Show me true. Show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Mama. The part of me that feared using my real name on YouTube is ready to be sent to God's light now for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. Okay. This is the part right here. Okay. This is God right here. We're going to send this part back now to God's light. Just visualize a whole bunch of light here, or however you want to see God, and visualize that part here, and your hands are coming together. And see that part going back into the light and being transformed now. Okay, great. So we were at a 7 with this. Now, let's see where we are here. Show me yes. Show me no. Show me true. Show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Mama. My name is Soraya. My name is Gabriel. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the fear of using my real name on YouTube was at a 7. Scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the fear of using my name, my real name, Gabriel Ernesto Serra or Gabriel Serra on YouTube is currently a 7. It's at a 6. It's at a 5. It's at a 4. It's at a 3. It's at a 2. It's at a 1. Fear on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the fear of using my real name on YouTube has an emotional charge of 0. Wonderful. Great. Wonderful job. So that's it. That's how we clear all that. And now we just move forward from there. Let's wrap this up now. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive our debtors as we forgive our debts. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive our trespassors. Forgive our trespassers as we forgive our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to clear myself and to give that to every heart and mind across the universe. Thank you, God, for assisting and supporting me to embrace being myself. And thank you, God, for doing the same for others. Once again, if you found today's session helpful and you want to do this for yourself, you can download that free EFT GPT, which is linked in the description box below this video, below this live stream. I'm going to continue again tomorrow, and I invite you to come back tomorrow. Join me for tomorrow's live stream at 4:32 a.m. Central European Time. And until then, remember, we love you, you are loved, God loves you. Have a nice day.